Good morning and welcome to Philosopher Stone Performance. My name is Chance, and today we're going to be talking about why we use sidereal astrology. So first thing, go ahead and open up any reliable star map app. Don't look at anything about astrology, any dates, anything like that. Just look up at the actual sky, find the sun and the moon. Look for the planets, look for Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus. That right there is the one main reason that we use sidereal Vedic astrology on Philosopher Stone Performance. We want to begin with direct observations. Look first, then interpret. Most of us have spent our entire lives being told what reality is before we ever looked at it ourselves. We're told what sign we are. We're told what date carries spiritual power. We're told when a portal opens. We're told which emotions are spiritual, which emotions supposedly lower our vibrations. We're told what awakened people believe, what successful people do, what masculine and feminine means, what God and power means, and what we're allowed to question and what we're not. Eventually, we become so used to inherited information that we just stop looking, and that's the programming. Programming doesn't always arrive through something ugly. Sometimes it's through something beautiful, like special purple and pink graphics, spiritual language, sacred symbols, promises of manifestation, and somebody telling you how special you are. So our position is simple. Look, just question honestly and keep what proves useful. Never surrender your authority just because a belief is popular. Now, this isn't about attacking any other form of astrology. Tropical astrology itself can produce meaningful and accurate readings. It's a coherent, seasonal, symbolic system. And there's many skilled tropical astrologers that understand how to read the houses, aspects, rulers, the cycles, psychology, and the relationships between the planets. And that's why so many people do connect with it. But tropical and sidereal aren't measuring the same thing. Tropical is anchored to the equinoxes and the seasonal zodiac. It works through calendar dates and seasonal divisions. Sidereal uses a star reference zodiac. The reason is calendars are human systems. They've been revised, standardized, changed, and adjusted throughout history. So we don't automatically assume that a date on a calendar is the final authority over what's happening in the sky. Here we use the whole sign Lahiri sidereal system because we want our astrological framework connected to what's observable with the planetary positions. Even then, I'm not asking you to believe me blindly. Go ahead, open up the app, look up at the sky, compare what you're being told to what you actually observe. And that's how we approach everything here. We don't replace one authority with another. We don't leave tropical programming just to become trapped inside sidereal programming. Finding a more observable map doesn't mean the map becomes your master. And that brings us to the question at the center of every astrology reading on this channel. We always ask, who were you before the sign, before Aries, Leo, Pisces, before your birth chart, before the personality that you had to build, before the image that you learned to defend, before approvals that you received, approvals you didn't receive, victories and failures, traumas, addictions, family roles, and the identity that you carried because you didn't know who you'd be without it. Who were you before all of that? The chart isn't your identity, it's not a prison, and it's not a cosmic sentence telling you what you're allowed to become. The chart is your divine blueprint. It reveals timings, pressure, tendencies, and patterns. It reveals strengths and weaknesses, emotional reactions. It reveals relationship dynamics, opportunities, and various forces moving through your life. The divine blueprint itself isn't broken, so we don't transmute the blueprint. We transmute the fear, the inherited programming, the emotional loops and false commands. We transmute the distorted perceptions and old agreements that interfere with our ability to live that blueprint clearly. That's why here we begin with I am. Not I'm broken and trying to become whole. Not I'm powerless and waiting for a planet to save me. Not I'm cursed because Saturn's moving through this house. Not I can't help what I do because Mars makes me angry. I am comes before the story. I am comes before the sign. I am comes before the program. At the center of this work is the understanding that your original divine essence was never destroyed. It might be covered. It may be buried under fear, shame, conditioning, pain, addictions, reactions, and years of living in survival mode. But it wasn't destroyed. We sometimes use the image of the diamond core for the original unbroken essence. The work isn't about manufacturing your divinity. It's about clearing the interference that keeps you from expressing it. And all of that always happens now. Everything is always now. The past isn't somewhere behind you. The past is active right now as memory. It's active as body tensions. It's active as the way your nervous system reacts when somebody speaks. It's active as shame, craving, avoidance, resentments, hypervigilance, and the identity that you develop to survive. The future is also active now. It's active in imagination, expectations, fears, intentions, and probabilities. The future you say you want is already being shaped by the decisions, the language, the reactions, discipline, and energies that you're directing right now. The only place transformation can happen is now. The only place a planetary force can be met is now. The only place an old program can be interpreted is now. And the only place that you're going to make a difference is now. That's exactly why we meet the planets from an as-is position. We don't deny what's active. We don't pretend that Mars isn't bringing heat, anger, urgency, competition, and conflicts. We don't pretend that Saturn isn't bringing pressure, limitation, delay, responsibilities and disciplines and demands for structure. We don't call everything good and we don't call everything bad. We observe the force. We observe what the force activates inside of us. And then we ask, what program is trying to use this energy? And that's a completely different way of working with astrology. The lower expression of planetary force moves through fears, compulsion, divisions, false identities, unconscious reactions, and the belief that something outside of us owns our power. Mars turns into destruction, Saturn paralysis, Venus approval seeking, Mercury mental chaos, and words used as weapons, and so on and so on. But we don't fight the original energy. We don't need to destroy Mars or escape Saturn. We bring the force into the violet flame, because the violet flame is the authentic Philosopher Stone. Not a decoration or just a pretty color. It's not a symbol sitting beside a stone. The violet flame is the living spiritual fire of transmutation itself. The ancient search for the Philosopher's Stone was a search for power capable of changing the nature and quality of the material placed within the operation. So what was heavy could become refined. What was trapped, released. What appeared fixed could be transformed. That's what the violet flame does with consciousness. It enters the energy as it is. It doesn't, for example, destroy the anger. It enters the anger and reveals the fears, the wounds, and beliefs that are trapped power inside of it. It doesn't deny cravings. It enters the craving and reveals the energy searching for relief, for connection, or escape. It doesn't deny shame. It enters the shame and reclaims the power that collapsed against the self. The violet flame doesn't destroy original energy. It transmutes the distortion that's been using it. Mars now becomes courage, protection, physical strength, and directed action. Saturn becomes discipline, endurance, boundaries, responsibility, and structure. Venus becomes self-respect, conscious value, beauty, receiving, relationships that don't require self-abandonment. That is spiritual alchemy. The violet flame is the Philosopher's Stone. Transmutation is its action. Embodiment is its evidence. We are the conscious vessel through which the power becomes real. But let's be clear about embodiment. Embodiment isn't about getting chills during meditation, seeing the violet light. It's not about having a vision and telling everybody how activated that you are. Those experiences do have meaning, but they're not the final evidence. The evidence comes when the same trigger returns and you don't become the same person. And it's very cool. You recognize the program sooner. You feel the charge without immediately acting it out. You stop using history as ammunition. You tell the truth without trying to destroy the other person. You leave what you know is killing you. You keep promises. You complete work. You take care of the body. And you correct agreements. That's embodiment. I lived with an enormous amount of energy and no direction for it. I know what it is to fight the world, fight authority, all circumstances, and fight myself. I know addictions, alcoholism, homelessness, incarceration, violence, and definitely consequences. I know what it's like to have a history that can walk into a room before you do. And one of the hardest truths I've had to learn is that most people don't lack power. They lack the ability to direct the power already moving through them. Anger is power without clear instruction. Craving is power attached to a destructive energy. Shame is power collapsed against the self. Fear is power rehearsing a future it doesn't want. The spiritual work matters because it changes the position from which we meet the next physical action. It doesn't replace the action, it changes who takes it. That's why Philosopher Stone Performance isn't about escaping physical life. It's about becoming more capable within it. Consciousness should affect the nervous system. The nervous system should affect behavior. Behavior should affect the body, relationships, discipline, creativity, work, and performance. We work with the physical, mental, emotional, and etheric bodies as one integrated system. If the mind says one thing, the emotions are carrying another, the body is braced for war, and the energetic field is scattered across 10 unfinished desires, manifestation becomes divided. That's why our manifestation philosophy isn't wishful thinking. Before you script, tell the truth. What do you actually believe? What are you repeatedly saying? What does your body expect? What behavior are you rehearsing? And what are you asking for while continuing to feed the opposite? Manifestation requires an intention, attention, language, imagination, emotional alignment, and disciplined action. Not perfect alignment. Your affirmation can't carry your life if your daily language keeps canceling it. Your vision can't become form if you refuse the work required to hold it. The universe isn't your personal vending machine. Creation is a relationship between consciousness, energy, responsibility, choice, and action. That's why we use practices such as the sacred witness, the still point meditation, infinity breath, the sacred heart and sacred mind, the diamond core essence, and personal fifth dimensional pyramids. These aren't fantasy decorations, they're actual working structures. The sacred witness helps us observe without becoming. The still point interrupts automatic momentum. Infinity breath circulates attention through higher intention, the heart, body, and the earth, instead of leaving the mind disconnected from physical life. The personal pyramid becomes an inner workshop for rest, clarity, creation, decisions, and transmutation. The crystal table isn't where we avoid a problem. It's where we place the charged pattern in front of us and ask, what is mine to own? What is mine to release? What is the next clean action? Then we come back into the body, feet on the ground, eyes open, and we complete the action. Eventually, the work expands beyond the personal self. We move into pyramids, world pyramids, cities of light, and service practices within a much larger system. But this isn't about a spiritual title. World service is actually a verb. If the practice makes us feel superior, more chosen, or too spiritually important to handle ordinary responsibility, then we've missed the point. Real service is conduct. It's becoming steady enough to stop spreading our fear, clear enough to stop manipulating people, strong enough to hold truth without turning it into war, disciplined enough to build something that helps. That's the deeper purpose of astrology on this channel. We're not reading the sky so we can fear the weak. We're not reading the sky to excuse our behavior. We're not reading the sky so another outside force can tell us who we are. We're using timing consciously. We're identifying what's active. We're revealing the program trying to use that energy. And then we bring that program into the violet flame, the authentic Philosopher Stone, and then reclaim the higher function of the force. Now let's make it practical right now. Just think of one life trigger that you have, not a symbolic problem, but something real. It could be a message, a bill, craving, argument, some sort of fear, a person, something carrying an actual charge in your body. Don't decorate it. Name it honestly. You might feel rejected, controlled, ashamed, attacked, whatever it is. Pause for a second. Feel where that charge lives in the body. It could be your chest, your throat, your stomach, jaw. It could be your arms. Let it be the energy before it becomes behavior. Take one slow breath and bring your attention into the sacred heart and recognize your diamond core essence. It's the original part of you that wasn't damaged by this moment. Now allow the violet flame to arise from within. Not called from somewhere outside of you, but from your center. Let the violet flame surround the feeling, the image, the memory, the planetary pressure, and the command attached to it. Don't burn away your intelligence. Don't burn away the boundary. Don't erase what happened. Transmute the fear-based instruction, telling you what you must do next. Say to yourself, I release the program that says this feeling must control my next action. I retain wisdom. I reclaim energy. I allow the higher function of this force to reveal itself now. Then become still. Don't demand 10 answers. Just wait for one clean action, like one call, a boundary, one correction, one apology, an hour of work, or just one honest conversation. One decision that reflects who you are before the sign, before the program, and before the fear. That's the whole operation. Transmute first, revelation follows, embody what is revealed, and expand what you embody. So yes, we use the Vedic astrology because we want to begin with observable sky. We want people to look instead of blindly accepting. But the sky is still a map, and you're the one using it. The planets don't own your power. The chart doesn't imprison you. The past isn't final. The future isn't somewhere waiting to happen to you. And remember, everything is now, and your divine blueprint is still present. The violet flame is the authentic Philosopher's Stone, and the purpose of this work is to transmute unconscious power into conscious capability. Observe without becoming, allow without surrendering your authority, transmute without denying reality, then embody the revelation through one clean action. Understand the system, look at the sky, question honestly, keep what proves useful. This is Philosopher Stone Performance. Transmute the program, reveal the power, embody the blueprint. And always remember, the universe is mental, so don't be. I want to thank you for being here today. I truly appreciate it. I hope this sits somewhere with you and you get a piece of value from it.